Hi guys, so it's another differentiated sort of extension lesson today based on working in SketchUp. SketchUp is a free piece of software for digital modelling that you can work with in your web browser, and you can use it to make really complicated architectural models or really simple ideas, which is what we're going to test out today. This is a very basic introduction. We're going to use simple tools to test out some ideas. I'm conscious that some people don't have the equipment or materials at home to be working all the time in physical models, and some of my students love working in digital modelling and digital design. So hopefully you can pick and choose from the videos how you go about creating your ideas. All of these are valid when you do coursework, digital modelling, card modelling, modelling in wood. Showing a range of techniques is one of the key things to getting a good mark for the development of your work. So yeah, here's a little video on that, and yeah, I hope it's useful. Cheers! So on your desktop or laptop, go to Google or other browsers are available and search SketchUp. And try SketchUp. You will then need to create a login. You can ignore the 30-day free trial information because as soon as you've got a login, there is a free version you can use all of the time. So set up a login, which I've already done. So as I said in this video, I'm going to show you some basic introduction to SketchUp. So yeah, here goes. So I'm using this square tool here to just draw out 4 flat surfaces that I'm going to start working on. The way it works in SketchUp is you draw 2D shapes and then you use the push-pull tool to pull them and extrude them and make them 3-dimensional. So we're just coming up with some ideas for different iterations of designs based on our brief. You can then work on different planes of the object using the pencil tool or the curve tools. You'll notice it's very intuitive and snaps to the surface I want to work on. And then you can subtract by pushing objects away. I'm going to add a fillet to the edge here by drawing a curve. Just going to zoom in slightly so I can see better. Fillet a curve onto the edge and then again just push away the shape that you don't want with the push-pull tool. The navigation tools are on the bottom side of the panel. There's a hand to move the view, the orbit to look around your work, and the zoom tool. I'm going to make a rebate here by adding a surface rectangle and then pushing it in. I'm not really thinking about the functions at the moment other than supporting the phone. I'm just thinking about the forms and rough ideas. Here I'm going to go for a design that I've made before in previous videos with a triangular back piece by drawing up to the snap tool of the center where it says mid, and then I can just push away the 2 sides. I'm now going to add a channel for the phone to rest in, as I did in my woodworking video. Zoom in, you get more control over the position of your tool. So 2 lines, and then again, just push down to approximately halfway. On this design, I'm going to go a bit more abstract, just thinking about adding different shapes and how this could potentially work. These are all just to get a really broad range of ideas. And if you haven't got any woodworking or model making materials at home, then SketchUp is a brilliant way of testing out your ideas, and it's free. Got to remember to make sure I keep in the main function of somewhere to rest the phone and support it. So I'm going to add in a little chamfered bank at the front here. Again, just using the basic line tools and push pull at the moment. I've only actually used one arc in total so far. So there's 3 rough models. The aesthetics are very key in Memphis design, so I'm going to have a look at selecting the paint bucket tool in a minute after I've drawn a sphere. Now it's a bit more complicated. You start by drawing a circle and then a hemisphere on the z-axis. A semicircle, sorry, not a hemisphere. And then you hold down on the follow me tool to select the follow me tool, and then you can pull that round. I'm now going to remove any of the pieces I used to create it. There's some stuff stuck inside the object, so I'm just going to cut it with Control X, remove that object, and then repaste it with Control V. I'm now going to make this one object. I've pressed G on my keyboard, and that selects a component, type in the name, and then you can move it without it distorting, which we'll look at in further videos in more detail. It can get a bit glitchy trying to move around objects like this. You can use the keys left, right, up, down on your keyboard to lock the movement axes. And now I'm just going to move that onto the top of here. Again, I'm not really too concerned about anything other than playing with ideas. And I'm going to use that again over there, just as a nice little aesthetic touch. Right, onto the paint bucket. Now, I'm familiar with the colours I've used because I've created a mood board, so I'm going to go for some vivid, slightly pastel colours. A sort of coral. I'm going to go for a teal and like a mustard yellow, as well as some monochrome patterns. Like a blush kind of pink there. Slightly lime yellow. And then some cyan and some teal. Obviously, again, zoom in if you need to get into more detailed areas. If you're using a mouse, you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and hold down the scroll wheel to orbit. Unfortunately, I was using a trackpad on my iMac, and that's a lot more fiddly to work with. If you scroll down from colours, you get to patterns, and there's some nice monochrome black and white patterns that can be used. So I'm just playing around with ideas here to see what works. So they're looking quite in keeping with the design style now. I'm not very happy with some of the monochrome patterns I've used, so I'm just going to go back and have a look at maybe using some block colours instead. Just recentering my view there so I can get a closer look at what I'm doing. Because these models are just for design and presentation, you'll notice I'm only really filling the sides you can see from this isometric view. If they were models that you're going to move around in animation, obviously you would want to be filling all sides of each component. But there you go, there's 3 initial ideas for a Memphis design. Have a go yourself.